Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com and this is rotisserie prime rib. I've done prime ribs so many different ways over the years. One way I've never done it on this channel is on a rotisserie spit, and that's exactly what we're gonna do today. What we're working with today is a 4-bone prime rib from Creekstone Farms. This is a beautiful piece of meat. It just needs a little bit of trimming before we get it onto that rotis. So anything that's like super hard on the outside, I'm gonna take that off. This hard fat doesn't tend to break down very much. It will a little bit, but the softer fat is kind of the nicer fat on the palate when you're taking your bite afterwards. So that's mostly isolated to this one end. And speaking of the ends, you can kind of get a really nice look at the marbling on the inside of this. It's beautiful. That's just about all the fat trimming I want to do. Let's go ahead and get this thing seasoned up. First thing I want to do is hit it with some Worcestershire. And then we'll just do this one side at a time here. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just enough to help get that rub stuck to the meat. Speaking of the rub, we're using the Cattleman's Grill Trail Dust. This is an all-purpose seasoning. So the whole idea here is this is a beautiful piece of meat. We don't want to overpower it with any specific flavors. We just want to enhance what's already there. So you've got very like generic, and not in a bad way, but generic savory flavors in this rub. It's kind of a supporting actor at all times. More trail dust. He is he is the Jack Black of the situation, where you know he's even better when he's not having to steal the show. Well, he is stealing the show when he doesn't have to run the show. So now let's get this thing on the spit. I'm gonna go right down the center. This end is gonna go into the motor. Both ends are gonna get forks, and this is what's gonna hold it in place. That pushed all the way in, so it's not gonna spin on us. Do the same thing from the other side. Same thing from the other side, tighten that down. And then we're gonna get this piece on the end. This is what's gonna ride on that little notch inside the grill, but we won't tighten until we get in there. Today we're cooking on the Yoder Smoker's YS640S pellet grill. It's running at 450 degrees, so we're doing roasting temperatures here. That's so that we can get a nice texture on the outside as it cooks. Now we're gonna do this on the rotis, but I'll give you some other options here in a minute. So we'll insert the rod into the motor. We'll land it over here, tighten that down, and get it spinning. Now underneath the roast, we've got some thin sliced onions, just like one large onion. We're gonna add to that a quart of beef stock. So as this thing cooks down, the fat's gonna drip off of it and into the beef stock and onions and create a nice jus. Now here's the thing about the rotisserie. I love the way that as it flips around, it's kind of basting itself the whole time. And obviously we get to catch those juices in that pan below. But you could do this any which way you want to. You can roast it at a high temperature on your 640 without the rotisserie. You could smoke it. You can do all of these things with this same flavor profile and still come out with a great product. About 2 hours in here. Our roast is temping at about 125 in the middle, which is where we want it to be before it rests. Now, this has had about 20 minutes to rest now, so we're gonna slice off one of these ribs right here. Now this is an end piece, so it's gonna be more done than the center pieces, but you can still see it's got a nice little bit of pink in there, and you can see how much juice is still rolling around in there, and I don't wanna lose that. So here you can see we're a little bit closer to the center, so we get a little bit more pink on this. Now it's really cool to like show off a single bone serving of this, but nobody's gonna eat that much beef. So the logical thing to do is to take your knife and cut right along those bones. So you're gonna take those off and you're gonna snack on this part, and then the rest of it we're gonna slice up to serve our friends and family. And in this case, I usually go pretty thin. Just kind of shave it off of there. Gosh, that smells incredible. So again, middle of the roast, you're getting that pink. So much juice in there. These pieces are cooked just the way I like them. Kind of a mid-rare. That meat just tears apart. I'm gonna taste it. Before I do, it gets a dunk in that jus. So it's dripping. Some of those onions on top. It's pure decadence. That meat's super tender, got tons of flavor. This is the reason why we try to coat the outside with a decent amount of seasoning, because the inside's not getting any. It's a big roast, it's just like a brisket. Also the reason why we create this onion jus while it cooks, and the fat and the juices drip into it so you don't lose anything. Now we did end up throwing in a couple more cups of beef stock just to keep it hydrated in there so that it didn't dry out. Probably could have thrown a whole another quart in there, and then you'd have all the dipping jus that you want. Let's plate one up. So there's our showpiece right there. Ladle on top of it, that jus and the onions. Might just put a little more of that jus down on the bottom. We talked earlier about letting the beef speak for itself. The seasonings that we've added, there's nothing that stands out that's like taking control of the flavor. And those middle pieces where you didn't get any seasoning at all in the center, that's why the jus is so great. You have something to add some more beef flavor to it, and it came from the roast with a little bit of extra beef stock and essentially what turns into caramelized onions. So all together, you're really hearing that beef sing. When you're buying good beef, you want to taste the good beef. In this case, that's exactly what we're doing. Now, if you're in the Wichita, Kansas area, right here where we are, we've got this beef on hand at our store at All Things Barbecue down in Delano in downtown Wichita. So come check us out, come pick something up. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoyed the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All Things Barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.